The other semi-final, of course, is the heavyweights, Australia against New Zealand. Now, let's just quickly focus on their quarter-finals. Australia, of course, against Lebanon on Friday night at Huddersfield. Ado Carr, now up to 11 tries for the tournament. He scored 5 against Lebanon. Again, I'll be honest, I thought Australia, they were efficient, effective, but it weren't what I expected by any sort of imagination. We know what happened on Sunday, was it, when Michael Cheika took Argentina to Twickenham and they beat England by 30 points to 29. What a weekend he's had, by the way. But yeah, you know, Mal Meninga after that game, positive, but again, similar to what Michael Maguire said when we focus a little bit on New Zealand, there's still room for big improvement, and that in itself is a little bit scary when you look at what Australia have done. You know, the 70 odd points against Italy, you look at the big scores they've had, but yeah, you know, Australia in fine form.
I think with the Aussies, and we look at England, I think it's been a complete difference. We've hit our straps and we look fantastic. I think you can almost feel the Aussies almost a bit nonchalant, you know, almost they know they're going to win. Do you know what I mean? They're going to win, and it's almost we're just going through motions. This game will be an unreal game, and New Zealand are to beat the Aussies, to be fair. And I think you'll see, Mick, or I'm hoping to see, both levels come up, and the Aussies can do that. I almost feel like they've just been meandering the way through the tournament, and they know they're going to win.
Yeah.
You know, that's
without being disrespectful to Mal Meninga and that Australian sort of ethos. That's the impression I've got. It's like not doing the bare minimum, but they've just gone through. I don't think we've seen the Australia out of that sort of second or even third gear.
But I found myself. I said before these quarters, I thought both the Aussies and the Kiwis would go up a considerable gear. I don't think anybody doubts that the Aussies will go up a gear.
Yeah.
I'm losing a little bit that the Kiwis will do that. I'm sure Sculthorpe said it after the game. The Kiwis will lift themselves to this game more than anything, and they will. But you've no doubt the Aussies are going there. Can the Kiwis actually do what we hope they will and what we expect? And I've got less certainty about the Kiwis than I have the Aussies.
Yeah, I sorry, Jack. I just think they have looked. I hate the word clunky, but what else? What else can you?
It's perfect.
They just do. They don't look
slick.
They don't look. They aren't look slick. You know, they aren't. But you know, I'm honestly looking forward to this game as well. It's going to be 2 absolute great games of rugby league. What are you thinking, Jay?
I think the key for New Zealand. I think you mentioned it actually before the show, and I was you did steal my point because I didn't say it, but I'm going to steal your point. But the key is, I think they have to get Joey Manu right, don't they? At fullback, he's been clunky. He's had his moments of brilliance individually, but he's not flowing within the team, is he? He's not creating the offence. It's a bit of individual brilliance, and he's slow. It's a slow look. He slows the play down, trying to. And
that for me, look, what an unreal player! But he's almost like the best player. Put him. He's not going to run 250 metres against the Aussies, is he?
No.
I don't know. I just think they need a bit more execution.
Let's get him at centre. Let's have Nickel Colstad at fullback.
I don't honestly change it up, but that'd be.
And then the big battle, I think, is the battle between the Australian halves and the New Zealand halves. I think Nathan Cleary, he's been not slaughtered, but he's been what's the word?
Criticised.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. Yeah, he's been criticised in the media. He's not been the superstar. They've played Cherry Evans, who's 35, 36 now. They thought he was surprised to even make the team. I don't know, he personally was, but I think the fans were.
I mean, are we expecting Cleary and Munster? Is it, or is it very?
No,
much?
not anymore.
Is
after Cleary's
Hunt still in there.
No,
it's being Hunt still in there. Hunt will play 9. Yeah, so it'd be
I think what they've done for me. Cleary, you've got to play Cleary. I get Cherry Evans as being a great Aussie player. Cleary's the best in the world.
He is.
Cleary's a number 7. Whether you saw, but what he's done is Ben Hunt then plays the 14 role. Yeah. Unbelievable. Ben Hunt comes on at hooker, but then they've been going Cherry Evans. Cleary's looking over, he's thinking, is he coming on at hooker, or is it? I'm only putting that as Cleary's probably not looking over his shoulder, the best player in the world. But Cleary in that last game, it were almost like it wasn't reaching. I don't know what happened if he had a flat ball. He couldn't reach the sticks with his kicks, could he?
Yeah.
And he's unbelievable. But I don't know. Yeah, the Aussies do it. Mal Meninga does it a bit different, doesn't he? Because he picks from. You've played for Australia so many times, and you're going to be picked for Australia.
So they're the shirt numbers.
Yeah, exactly. And Cherry Evans on the bench as using him as a 14. Ben Hunt's the best. He does it every Origin game.
Yeah.
Unreal at that position. Substitute the hooker off, put Ben Hunt on, but obviously he's sat.
So do you think?
Cherry Evans on.
Do you think Hunt was rested because he has got that job, and it was
I don't-
almost give DCE one more chance to try and take?
I honestly don't know.
I think if you watch the Australian media, they're still saying it as a halfback battle,
Are they?
which is surprising because you'd think Nick Cleary, no offence to DC, should win that every day of the week at this point in their careers. But if you watch, I watch a lot of the news chat. They're saying DC has won the halfback battle at this moment, which is crazy.
And that's probably when you look at his last performance. Maybe the GOAT Cleary might be feeling that. Be feeling that, looking over his shoulder and thinking, "Am I?" We spoke about coaches trusting you. I know his dad trusts him. He just won him 2 premierships. Yeah. So maybe you're seeing a bit of that. I don't know. I'm waiting, a bit like you, Mick, waiting to see the real Australia.
Yeah. Well, you can. I'll say that about New Zealand because I mean, again, a very narrow and I won't say controversial, albeit the captain's challenge effectively did decide that game. I mean, I don't want to.
Well, there's 2, and I think we've got them both right. So I thought it. I love the captain's challenge. I love it to be in our game.
Yeah, it's actually a good one.
They both got it wrong, and they both.
I could have got about 50 because every referee's done me wrong this year.
I think with Australia, their top players still haven't. They're not even in 5th gear. They're not even in.
Except maybe
5%.
Adokar,
But Adokar's actually finished the season well, but he didn't have that good of a season. So I think going into it wasn't there. He wasn't. They're not looking at Adokar going, he's the best player on the pitch.
Oh no, he's just the best. He's the finisher.
He's the finisher, but he's not had that good of a season until the end. Start of the season, they think he's gone at camp. Well, not gone, but they think, it was just because he was on a good team, and then he showed it at the end. But then you've got names like Latrell, haven't you? Latrell's not shown up yet, and he could be the best player in the world.
I just think it's all going to show itself. I think.
Here's one for you, Gailey.
Yeah.
You look at that New Zealand team. There's 6 players from Melbourne in there. You look at your Jerome Hughes, your Brandon Smiths, your Bromwich brothers, and then you look at the Australian team, and obviously Cameron Munster, Harry Grant. Let's try and put this into sort of like.
We've missed
a perspective from you. What I'm trying to say is there's a lot of players in both teams that feature predominantly for one of the premier Australian clubs in the Melbourne Storm. What's that like from an international perspective?
No, you mean getting into each other?
Yeah. Even though the teammates, the squad members, they do a good job for Mr. Bellamy, but
they'll rip into each other.
They'll be even more,
even more, yeah, 100%. They'll rip into.
Because obviously Manu is at the Roosters, obviously Tedesco's at the Roosters, so you've got rivalry there. I mean, I was looking at it earlier this morning, and I'm just like, wow, this could be something special.
Mick, you've got the best battle on the pitch is the hooker battle. The Cheese versus Harry Grant.
Both similar players.
Exactly.
That's
what
Cheese versus Harry Grant. Who've you got, Wales? Who've you got?
Grant, me, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're both.
Dad's player of the tournament going into it was the Cheese himself,
was
Brandon Smith. Yeah.
Character.
Top choice.
Yeah, he told me last night I'm going to go quiet on that because he's had a bad tournament. So I thought I'd bring it up again.
You know your dad, his best thing is he surrounds his son by any positive, he jumps in.
Yeah.
Any negative, it's Homer Simpson.
Yeah, he said he got these handicaps right, but his player of the tournament was Cheese. And Cheese.
I like that, Jay, because he has an unbelievable memory of remembering the good stuff. He never remembers bad.
He doesn't.
It's unbelievable. But yeah, Mick, we're all excited, aren't we, for this? We've already talked, we've done England till we blew in face. This game, we're hoping both teams come alive. We see an unbelievable game. I'm going to be there. I'm looking forward to it. I've done the typical. I'm not going down to London, but I'm going to.
That's what I'm doing.
What's
You're not going to watch it.
I'm not going.
You're off to Ellen Road.
I'm going to watch Ellen Road. Yeah,
What's your
I'm
score
looking forward to
prediction?
that.
Me too. All tournament.
I'm going to think. I think it'll be a tight game. I think Aussies by 10. I'm hoping the Aussies. They just seem like they're just coasting through. They're ready for a big game this week. Aussies by 10, mate.
I draw parallels with the other game where we said about New Zealand. Now have had a tough game. They've had to get through an unbelievable effort off the Fijians, and they did come through and settle this game up. I've been looking forward to all tournament and nearly didn't get. I'll go back to, I don't doubt the Aussies are going to go up a couple of gears, and I think the Kiwis might go up one gear, but I think their gear is going to be determination and fight, and
Aussies
but
a
I
bit
don't
more
think
class.
they've got the class.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Aussies by 16.
Ooh,
Yeah.
bit of a drubbing.
I just think that I've just not seen enough from New Zealand to.
No,
I've wanted to. I mean, I know it was a poor thing, but when they played against the Leeds team,
Well,
I was like, Jesus Christ, these are going to challenge the Aussies. And I know that was a weak team, but I've not seen anything like that, and I'm like, I can't see the Aussies.
A little one on that. I was meant to play in that Leeds game. Gary rang me on, I think, the Tuesday or Wednesday. So he rings me. He said, "Luke, want you to play this week." He actually said, "Are you fit? What are you doing?" I said, "I'm doing some work on house, Gary, but I can get my boots out." Why? What's up? Invites me to come train with Leeds, go play the Kiwis. I thought, do you know what? We've been knocked out at all for the last 5 weeks. Go see it, lads. Get my boots. Anyway, what transpired is I couldn't play. I got a 1 game ban, and they upheld it, the RFL, which I thought was
Scandalous.
terrible in a bit of an exhibition game. Anyway, trained with Leeds for 3 to 4 days. Brilliant, unbelievable. And then I watched the Kiwis.
I know where this is going.
And I was glad I was sat in stands. To be honest. I watched the Kiwis, and I was like, I think I rang Craig. I'll text him saying, "Look, I've just dodged a bullet there," but they were fantastic. And look, Leeds, it was a tough one on Leeds because they've just got to a GF. They all wanted to be on the holidays. They played, and they put up a good battle, but they were fantastic, the Kiwis. But I were expecting that. I think I texted him saying, "Look, they're a serious team," but then I just haven't quite seen that come to light through this tournament.
Did I say 16 or 14?
16.
16. So I'm going 26-10 I'm going with.
Will you write Craig's down, because he always seems to he just changes his narrative.
I've given up.
He changes his narrative.
I've given up trying to hold into his word. No chance.
I think New Zealand's spine have to show up. The halfbacks haven't shown up yet. I don't think they've played. Joey Manu needs to he needs to figure out the way he's going to fit into the New Zealand team.
Yeah, not almost being the best player, play him at full-back and do alt running.
Well, it's a bit like Swali, isn't it? With him playing winger, but he wanted to play full-back. Manu's played centre all year, so you can tell that he's got the talent, but I think he's still trying to figure out the full-back position. So if New Zealand can figure it out, I think it'd be a close game. But if Cheese and them don't show up, I've got Australia by 20.
Ooh, I think Cheese will show up. I think this is down to Brandon Smith leading him. He's got to lead him, and he's got to have a game of his life if they're going to keep it close.
It's all based on effort in here.
You've gone for 20.
I've gone for 20.
I like it, lads. I like it. Put yourself out there.
I don't think Joey Manu is.
I've seen your word there, spine, and you're quite right, Joe. You know, you look at Manu, you look at Dylan Brown, Jerome Hughes, Brandon Smith.
I like that Jerome Hughes, though.
Yeah,
I think he's unreal.
If they turn up and play to the potential, we've got one hell of a game at Ellen Road.
Completely agree.
We have. We've probably got.
Are you there, Mick?
On par with Samoa versus Tonga.
Are you there, Mick?
I'm not there.
DJ.
Listen, can I just say something? When you DJ and you've got these residencies,
bloody hell!
You can only get
Fisher.
You can only get some. They only allow. I play a lot of Fisher as well. Yeah, I'm losing it. Here, listen. I might be in my 30s, but I'm up to date with all the current dance music. Trust me.
I love that, mate. Hey,
yeah.
Mick, can you get us, after I go to the game, can you get me some tickets for the nightclub after?
Yeah, you're welcome.
I've been on a bit Gleddle night out. It's not bad, you know. It's not bad.
It's been to see me. I get them all going.
Brilliant.
But yeah, it's frustrating because it's
You have to work.
Yeah. But no, my prediction. You know what? I'll be honest. My gut's telling me everyone's building this up as Australia, New Zealand.
It's because it is Australia and New Zealand.
I know, Jimmy, but what I'm trying to say
He's saying that's not the true match. The true game's Australia v England.
Well, look, I'll be honest. I've got Australia turning up and New Zealand not.
You think it's not going to be the game we're all wanting?
Listen, I've been watching a lot of NRL 360 and they're going crazy about this, and this is a chance for New Zealand because if Australia win, that means they've been in every World Cup since year dot, in the World Cup final, and this is a chance for New Zealand to finally show what they're about and appear in their first World Cup final since 2008, when they won it. Listen, I'll be brutally honest. I don't want to go as high as Joe, but
You think Aussies by quite a bit?
I've got Australia to win comfortable. I hate to say it, and listen, I don't want people to be put off from buying tickets at Ellen Road. I spoke this morning, 24,000 tickets already sold, so it's going to be around 28, 29. It's going to look full. Listen, back in 2005, Gayle, I don't know if you can remember, New Zealand, they shocked the world, they beat Australia 25-0 in that Tri-Nations final at Ellen Road. I don't know if anyone can remember it.
No.
But listen, that's the New Zealand I want to turn up. And like you say, we just mentioned the spine, you know, Dylan Brown, Jerome Hughes, the Cheese, Brandon Smith. If they turn up, they can.
Yeah.
They can.
I agree.
They can stop
They're going to raise it, though. Have New Zealand only
they can
been
stop
thinking
that
about this
Australian
game,
attacking threat. I mean, you're going to have to keep Addo Carr quiet. I mean, we all know what he's about. Valentine's home's on other. Listen,
they've been thinking about this game and all.
Yeah,
Can we invite
You
the
can
new
see
Mystic Mac on, Craig Harrison, after
Mick,
his
how many?
four-game performance to give his score?
Australia by 24. I'm sorry.
Well, that's Marvin, Joe.
Yes.
You said less than me.
No.
He's just talked himself up. Yeah, 24.
24.
Listen, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I mean, I've actually got both semi-finals not as close as Craig and you guys think. I mean, I'd love it Saturday to be between 4 and 6 and an England win, and I'd love Friday nights to be between 8 and 10. But listen,
you just want two good games of rugby league. If the tie, we all want a tight game. The semi-final, that's how it should be.
I can, Gayle, I'll be honest. I've not seen Australia yet get out of that sort of second gear.
Yeah.
I think this will be the Friday night where it happens.
Right, here we go. Big welcome to the show to the one and only G King. Big family favourite, show me the money. 10 year, you get your 10-year pass soon, George. We're going to have a big Hall of Fame for you.
I never got that.
Gayle didn't get one, he'll get a 15-year one. The lads have just discussed the semi-final. They've given all their opinions. I'm going to give mine in a minute. But George, you've recently played against the Kiwis. I've just dropped a bollock 2 minutes before saying Australia. Come on, son, give us the inside deal.
Well, all you guys have gone Australia, and obviously I've come up against the Kiwis and I know what they're about. But I'm probably going to go my prediction, probably New Zealand. I'm thinking New Zealand to sneak it.
Wow.
Yeah.
What were it like playing against them? Where did they impress, or where were it hard to break down?
Well, like most teams do, what they try and do is try and pin you in a corner, and I think we managed to do that a few times. But they still managed to get out of there with such ease that I've never even come accustomed to that, even in Super League. Some of the players have got some really good late footwork, what managed to find the front, and from across the park as well, there's some big boys as well. So it was an experience in itself, that just the speed and the sheer strength of the Kiwis were an eye opener, that's for sure.
That's a good point, actually, George. I ain't thought about that. So what you're saying there is you've never come across putting somebody into alien them and block you in that back.
Yeah.
But then they can still get out.
Yeah, pretty
with
much.
ease.
With ease, really. And
We have been
really
disgraceful,
good, yeah.
George. Can they do that against Aussies? Is it another world that?
I think so, yeah. I think so. what really good as well is the number 9. I forgot his name.
Brandon Smith.
Yeah. But it's like he's small, but he's still dynamically really strong as well, and he were really good. And like when we was on his goal line as well, he managed to be able to suck us all in. But playing at such a tempo that he couldn't obviously get it out wide really good as well. So I think he's going to be a really good key for him. I was really impressed with him, and just the fullback as well. The fullback were really good late footwork, and just going on experience of obviously playing against them. I just think that they'll end up doing it.
I like it.